Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my 2014 NFL free agent rankings, and this video is for the quarterbacks that will be free agents in the 2014 class. You'll notice the quarterback cupboard pretty bare here as far as starting caliber quarterbacks go, but I think some nice additions that can be made to teams as proven veteran backups from this crop of guys. And I'll go from 10 to 1 here and count down to my number one free agent quarterback. Keep in mind, if I throw out any ages for these guys, it'll be their age at the beginning of next season. Let's start at number 10, Luke McCown, not Josh, Luke McCown, who played last year with the New Orleans Saints. McCown has a lot of experience at the NFL level. He was the backup in Jacksonville for a stint of time. This is his second stint with the Saints, familiar with the Sean Payton offense, was the backup to Drew Brees last year. So I expect the Saints to make a run at him to bring him back since he has some familiarity with the offense. And obviously you never hope for an injury to Drew Brees, but Luke McCown in at number 10. Number 9, I have Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman, still on the Redskins as of last year, 34 years of age. Obviously, we know he was a quarterback on a Super Bowl team, the Chicago Bears. So that was, of course, the Super Bowl where they lost to Peyton Manning and the Colts. And look, there's not many guys that have experience like Rex Grossman, playoff experience like he does, sitting on the free agent market. And while he hasn't played much recently, obviously down in Washington, he still earns a spot at number 9 on our list here. And Rex Grossman will be 34 years of age at the beginning of next season. Time flies, doesn't it? Number 8, Kellen Clemens. Clemens, of course, last year, I think filled in better than people thought he would for Sam Bradford and the Rams. Clemens is 31 years old at the beginning of next year. And he's a guy that I think the Rams should bring back because as far as backup quarterbacks go, you're not expecting these guys to, light up the world here when they come in. I thought Clemens did more than a serviceable job filling in for Bradford. They'll have some continuity there. He's been playing under Brian Schottenheimer for a while now from his days with the Jets. So Kellen Clemens coming in at number 8. Number 7, I have Tarvaris Jackson. He was on the Seahawks this year, of course, serving as the backup to Russell Wilson. Jackson is a unique guy this day and age because I think if you're looking for a quarterback that's sort of a dual threat guy as a backup, he's probably the best option you're going to have, of course, outside of Michael Vick here, available on the free agent market. And Jackson will certainly be cheaper than Vick. And I'm a big proponent of, getting a quarterback, your backup to be the same style as your starter, so you don't have to change the offense that much when you put the backup guy in. A lot of teams have mobile quarterbacks now. I think he could be a nice fit for someone. Again, 31 years of age at the beginning of next season. So Tarvaris Jackson comes in at number 7. Number 6, I have Matt Flynn. And I don't think we'll have to worry this year about Matt Flynn going into a season as the projected starter for a team like we have the last 2 years. Of course, the Seahawks, where he was supplanted by Russell Wilson, and with the Raiders, where he was supplanted by Terrell Pryor this year. Matt Flynn, I think it's pretty clear he's comfortable in that Packers offense. I thought he did the best job you could expect filling in for Aaron Rodgers when the keys were finally handed over to him as the starter there for that period of time. And I think he's a guy, I know you never plan on Rodgers getting hurt, but that the Packers should bring back, okay, in case they get into a situation where he misses 2 or 3 games. Flynn obviously very comfortable in that offense with that organization. Matt Flynn at number 6. At number 5, I have Shaun Hill. And I think a lot of people forget about how good Shaun Hill played when he did play for the Lions for a stint. Now he's 34 years old, but I think he's a guy, a proven, capable backup in the NFL that's steady, all right? Not spectacular, but certainly not terrible. I think if you're looking for a dependable backup for a young guy, I think Shaun Hill is a guy under the radar that's going to draw a lot of interest here now that he is an unrestricted free agent. Will the Lions bring him back? I think that depends on what Caldwell and his staff thinks, but someone is going to scoop him up, and he's going to make a nice addition as a veteran backup quarterback. And at number 4, I have Chad Henne. Henne, of course, the last couple seasons getting a lot more playing time than expected. given all the injuries Blaine Gabbert went through in Jacksonville. Henne is 29. I thought he showed flashes where he played pretty well. Remember, this is a guy at one time that was thought to be the future franchise quarterback of the Dolphins. He's only 29. It's not like he's one of these guys who hasn't played in 3 or 4 years because the starters played every snap. He has relevant experience. If I'm the Jaguars, I bring him back because if they don't, some team is going to get a nice addition here as a guy who is more than capable of holding the fort down for those 2 to 4 games if a starter should get hurt. Chad Henne in at number 4. At number 3, I have Josh Freeman. And to be honest, the only reason Josh Freeman to me is at number 3 is because he's only 26 years old at the start of next year. I think we forget that considering all he's been through here the last couple years. This is a guy that a couple years ago was thought to be a franchise quarterback down in Tampa. He's obviously regressed a lot since then. When he worked with Greg Olson, a noted quarterback guru, if you will, he had a lot of success. They were a 10-win team one year with him as the starting quarterback. Can he get with another team to develop him and maybe bring something out of him like we saw in Tampa? I don't think he's obviously going to go anywhere and get a starting job. But I think he's a guy that can be taken in as a developmental guy. And who knows what you get down the pike here from a guy like Josh Freeman, who just had a disastrous season this past season with all the stuff that went on in Tampa, and then mysteriously just not even really getting a chance in Minnesota after that dreadful Monday night game against the Giants. Josh Freeman in at number 3. In at number 2, I have Michael Vick. And Michael Vick, again, a guy who's going to be 34 years old to start next season. That's really hard to believe, considering it seems like just yesterday we saw him playing, in the national championship game for Virginia Tech against Florida State. But Vick, obviously, I think handled the situation with Nick Foles supplanting him as starting quarterback. I think he handled it very well. And while I know Michael Vick has already been said he still thinks he can be a starting quarterback in the NFL. We'll have to see how free agency unfolds to see if he will be able to get a starting job. I no longer view Michael Vick as a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he's going to have to take a backup job somewhere. I think he could be a very high-paid backup, a priority in free agency for a team. But I don't see the likelihood of him landing a starting job. But we know what Michael Vick brings to the table. Diverse skill set, can still run around, can still scramble, can still deliver the football when he needs to. The injuries have just been a huge problem for him, which is why I don't see a team making the financial commitment to him as a starting quarterback. He's in at number 2. And then number 1, I have Josh McCown. I know a lot of people have Vick number 1. I have Josh McCown. Why? Because he's a guy who had 13 touchdowns and 1 interception this year when he came in relief of Jay Cutler. And Jay Cutler obviously was already signed to a long-term deal by the Bears. I think the Bears would be very smart to lock up McCown as well as their backup. Maybe he'll be too expensive. It's definitely a possibility. Maybe he goes somewhere to back up a younger quarterback that's a little less entrenched. But look, I think he found a home in this Mark Trestman offense. He was sort of a journeyman type backup quarterback that I think fits in nicely with this offense. There's some word that he may be contemplating retirement, but if he's going to play at age 35, I think it's best for him and for the Bears to make sure he's back in the fold as Cutler's backup in 2014. Guys, that's my rundown of the top 10 free agent quarterbacks available. Again, I don't see a starting caliber guy on that list that I just ran down for you guys. Do you guys see a guy? Do you think McCown or Vick or maybe even Freeman could be a starter? Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. I'm going to be doing a rundown like this for every position, guys. So be sure to check those out. And I'm covering the draft wall to wall. Obviously, the Super Bowl coming up here in a couple weeks as well. And overall, the NFL 365 days a year here. So be sure to subscribe. It's completely free. Thanks again for listening. Have a great night.